Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Nick Mira here from Internet Money. No, I'm just kidding. It's KBeaZy. I'm going to be showing everyone how Southside produced Zoom by Future off of his Future album that dropped this year. So first off, by the way, all the drums in this YouTube that are used in this beat and all the drums Southside uses are in my personal pack, KBeaZy Sauced Up Volume 1. So if anybody wants that, just let me know. It's $15. Just hit me up and I got you. So the sounds he used are a sample, which I'll show in a minute, just a Luger slap clap, which is just a basic clap using like every beat ever pretty much. I used with snare 1. I don't know if this is actually what it is, but it sounds pretty close. Hit 1, again, using like pretty much every beat you could even think of. Perks 3, that's the open hat they use. I just threw in my tag and the 808 Mafia tag, but neither of those are in the real song. I just threw it in so people don't steal it and like just use it for like a ton of videos. Spins 808 is, I don't know if he actually used the spins, but I had to mess with it a little bit to make it sound like it did in the song. And then Rat Kick 1, which again is in like pretty much every beat ever. So yeah. So the first thing, you're gonna take this sample. This was in the, hold on, oh there we go, Southside X Metro Samples Part 2. It's called Backdrops, 130 BPM. So yeah, this is the sample he used. So I just duplicated it so I can show you guys what I did when I remade the beat and what Southside did like when he first got the sample. So first off, when you get the sample, the time stretch is going to be on none, so it's going to sound like this. So that's all we want to use. We don't want like any of this part. So what I do, when I don't usually sample that much, but when I do, I chop it in the playlist just cause I don't know, I suck at chopping it anywhere else. Like I just mess it up. So, and I don't really do any like complex chops like where I'm playing them or anything. I usually just let the sample play like how it was originally. So yeah, so it's not really necessary. So I just chop it in the playlist. So I figured out like what I wanted to keep, and I only want this much. So, cause that's what they use in the beat. Cause like the second half has all these weird sounds and stuff that you don't want. So that's pretty good. Now you click on that, you double click that, and it pulls up this. So what you're gonna do is you want to go to here. This is the time stretching, and you want to make sure it's on resample. I think it defaults to that, but basically with resample, when you time stretch it, it changes the pitch as well. Like it gets like higher or lower. But if you put it on pro transient, that's what you want to do if like you want to keep the sample at the same pitch as it was originally, but you just want to speed it up. But in this song it's a higher pitch, so keep it on resample and then pull the time stretch knob until you get to 8 bars, and that's like, because that's how long it is in the song. You'll end up with this. Okay, so I'm gonna delete that because I don't really need that. That was just for tutorial purposes. So yeah, so I'm gonna take out my tag as well because we don't need that. So here we go. So it first off, it just has the 8 bars of the melody, and then the first drum pattern. So it starts off with the slap clap, and that's just hitting like in the regular spot for a clap. It just repeats over and over again. So here we go, I'll let you hear that. Here we go. I think you get the idea. And then it also has a snare, but in the first pattern that's only gonna come in later on. So the first 4 bars there's no snare, and then for the last 8 it gets layered with the clap, and it also hits on the offbeat, so it goes. So that's over and over, it just keeps doing that same pattern. Now let's go to the hi-hat. So it's just hit 1, it's not pitched down or anything, it's just the regular old hit 1. So yeah, it's basically, I think it's it's just a 4-bar pattern, it's just like that. And then it repeats again over on this side, so I'm gonna play that for you guys. It just repeats again. So yeah, I don't know, the hi-hats are sort of weird in this song, like right here is pretty weird, I don't know, and like right there, I don't know. It's pretty odd, but I don't know, it sounds dope. So yeah, then the open hat, it's just classic Southside, you know, where he just like has it spams it pretty much like the whole beat, so it hits at the start of each bar and at like on the clap. Then I'm gonna go to the 808. So the problem is the original Spins 808, it didn't sound correct, like to how it did in the song. I don't know if he used the Spins 808. I'm pretty sure he did. He just messed with it, or maybe his engineer messed with it. Because I know Southside's engineer Max Lord, like he messes with his sounds and makes them sound better. I think. I'm pretty sure at least. Or it could have been the engineer that worked on the song. I'm not sure, or it could have just been Southside. I don't know. But anyway, so it's just a Spins 808. I cut it by itself so it doesn't overlap. I clicked normalize. I don't really know what that does. I think it just makes it louder. It just sort of hits like a little bit bigger. So I don't know. I just click normalize, and then in the song it fades out quick. So this out knob, this determines how quick it fades out. So it starts off like that, but you just want to move it up to like around there, so it fades out quicker. And then in the mixer, you just go into the Spins 808, and I raised it about 39% at 659 hertz. Doesn't really matter. I just sort of like listened and tried to figure out what it's like. So this sounds pretty good. And it just repeats. And the last part of the hook is the rat kit comes in with the snare. So it just hits like this over and over. It's just a loop. Okay, so that's that. So I'm gonna let you hear it with the sample. So then I'm also going to describe, actually I'm going to go into that later. I'm going to show the automation in a second. I'm going to show pattern 2. So I know Southside, like he splits it by channel. He comes up here and hits split, so he'd have like a separate pattern, like this would be the 808, the rat kick, like, you know what I mean, all up and down here. But it's pretty simple, so I just left it in the pattern. So for pattern 2, let me find it. Here we go. Here we go. It's got exact hi-hat. literally the same exact everything. The only difference is the rat kick, sorry, is in the whole time. So for the whole pattern, it's just the same rat kick pattern I showed, and the snare just repeats. So I didn't even send it to the piano roll. So it's just the same exact snare pattern where it's like. So yeah, it's just that same exact pattern, just the rat kick and the snare are in the whole time. And Future's verse is sort of weird. So typically, you're gonna want a 16 bar hook. So like up here, it's gonna want to be like 16 long. So from 9 to 25, that's 16. So that'd be the hook. And then you'd have like a 32 bar verse or a 62 bar verse. But I don't know, Future just did his own little thing. I think it's 24 bars, yeah. So it does pattern 2, and then another like half of pattern 2, and then it just repeats. It goes pattern 1 for the hook, pattern 2, and then half of pattern 2 again, and then the hook, and then the outro, it just has pattern 2, and then a melody, and it fades out. So the last thing of the beat, at certain parts, the song cuts out. Like all the drums or whatever, and just the melody is in there. So what I did, like I don't know if any of you guys go like this, like to cut it out. Like you can just, if you don't want the 808 or the drums, you can just pull it back here, and then like for that it won't show like have the drums in. But I'm pretty sure they did it in Pro Tools after. Like I'm 99% positive that they made the cut in Pro Tools, cause if you guys like have done this before, you know like the 808 will have a tail. Like listen to this. This is where the cut is. Even though the drums, like the hi-hats aren't re-hitting and the snare and stuff, the 808 still has the tail that lasts through there. So what I did is I just made an automation clip so it cuts out like smoothly, like. So then the drum, like the 808 doesn't have any tail, it just completely loses all its volume. Oh, and I did that by going into the mixer and I clicked that and did create automation clip. So yeah, and then over here it was sort of weird. I don't know why. Must have been the engineer afterwards, but like over here it just cleanly drops out. Like it just goes from like full volume to just absolutely nothing. But here it sort of goes like a gradual quick dropout, like after it hits. So I don't know. I just, instead of having like a straight line, I clicked a point right here, and then like originally it's like that, so I just dragged it like sort of like that, so then it sounds like this. So you see how like you can sort of hear it, and then it just cuts out. And then yeah, that's it. It just does the same exact thing where I cut out the 808 and the drums, and here I cut out the 808 like by doing a little gradual thing. And then it cuts out one more time here, and then the outro is just the drums hit like half of pattern 2, and then the melody fades out, which I did by going up here and clicking create automation clip. So then here's the outro. So yeah, it just fades out like that, and then there's that weird outro that's in the song, but I don't know, it's not really even a beat, it's just like some weird dudes talking, so obviously I didn't remake that. And then yeah, I just cut the 808 out here because there's no tail, so I just made it drop to 0. Also, one more thing, for automation clips, I know I never knew this when I was starting out. So let's say you're making, like, let's say I want to automate the volume of the kick or something. I don't know why I would, but let's say I do just for the sake of the tutorial. So kick is at like 100 volume pretty much, like it's at max, because that's just what like Southside does. It's not what I do, but that's what he does. So then this is at 100, right? Now let's say you wanted the kick to drop off here. So it goes like this, and then you're gonna want it to cut off that long, so you click it in. But like, there we go. Like, see how that's like not exact? If you want it to be the exact volume you had it in the mixer, you can right click on this point and hit copy, and then paste. So then it's at 96 volume, which is apparently what I had it at, like in here. So then that's the way to like get your automation clips exact, because I know I never knew how to do that like when I started off. So yeah, thanks for watching. Again, if anybody wants the drums that are used in this tutorial, and like literally every beat I make, and every beat Southside makes, pretty much every beat PM makes, Metro, all of them, hit me up. I have like pretty much every drum kit there is, like known to man, so just hit me up and I got you. Thanks for watching, guys.